JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off The Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off The Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off The Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. I'm trying to think of an Eva Marie quote, but I can't fucking come up with one right now. This is the #1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes, right here on YouTube.com. This is Off The Script. Thank you guys so much for joining me Sunday, August 7th, 2016. We got a lot of stuff to go over, and we're going to get into all that, but I do want to say a few things before we get into the news and rumors in this video. #1, my buddy Falcon just did day 1 of his bike ride. His channel has been down in the description all weekend. He's got one more day, which is today, and he's absolutely gonna feel like Mick Foley at the end of all this, fucking flying off Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker, man. Not once, but twice. And then a fucking choke slam on thumbtacks. So that's exactly how he's gonna feel after this bike ride, but he's doing great, and go show him some encouragement, and he's biking for awareness to the condition of MS, and I want you guys to go show him some support, and like I said, his YouTube channel will be down in the description all weekend for this podcast, so make sure you guys go check him out after you finish watching Off The Script for Sunday. #2, due to an overwhelming request, my 2016 Road to WWE 2K17 King of the Ring tournament has officially begun. Started on Saturday, Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura in the first round of the King of the Ring. If you guys missed that, I want you guys immediately to go check that out and show it some love, man. We're going to continue this fucking tournament. I think I might have another episode up on Monday. Monday's going to be a big day. I think we're going to have a part 4 of Off The Script, and then we're going to have the King of the Ring tournament continue with the next first round match. But if you did miss that yesterday, link will be down in the description below, and I'm going to put an annotation on the screen right there with the exclamation point in the top right corner of the video. Please go check that out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought, and pretty much let me know what you thought about the outcome of that match, man. King of the Ring tournament, going to continue, so make sure you guys go check that out and show some love, man. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. Barbershop Window, we're an official partner. You guys know the deal. Get your t-shirts. I'm still waiting on word for the Eva Marie Get Off My TV version for design. Hopefully I should have it sometime within the next couple of days. But if you guys want to go get your Roman Reigns, Big Show, and the 4 Goons, you got Big Show Ryback, who's no longer with the WWE, as we reported yesterday. Braun Strowman and the Big Red Loser, Kane. That's version 2. Make sure you guys go check that out, man. Barbershopwindow.com, official partner. That is my own online shop for this very podcast. Link will be down in the description below. $19.99. They do ship worldwide, goons. So make sure you guys go get your t-shirts today. Patreon.com. Continue to pledge. Thank you to everybody that has recently pledged this weekend. No matter how big or small, you guys are of vast importance to me. And I love each and every one of you. If you guys want to go online and read the mission statement and find out why I'm doing this and where I want to go with this, man, that's patreon.com/JD from NY206. Anything certainly helps me out in the long run. Thank you guys so much for your continued love and support. And WrestleCrate, WrestleCrate.com, and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. Use the coupon code JDSentMe for an instant 10% off your first purchase. Follow me on Twitter at JD206 and subscribe to the channel. I don't know what the fuck you are waiting for, man. JD from NY206. Thank you guys so much for that. Now, let's get into the news and rumors, man. Like I said, more than likely there will be a part 4. This might be one of the biggest stories that we talk about all weekend. Probably the biggest story all weekend. And I'm telling you guys right now, this particular story is going to set off a shitstorm in the comment section. And I am not going to have any part of it. Okay? I'm going to give you my opinion on it. And I'm going to be as logical as I can. I'm not going to pick one side over the other. Because really, like this one I'm about to read you, I'm 50-50. And I don't know if this is necessarily true. It's tough for the WWE to make this type of decision. But it's being talked about, apparently. WWE superstar Randy Orton just got back to the WWE after missing several months of action due to a shoulder injury and surgery. Orton has been hampered with shoulder issues throughout his career, which is why another injury was terrible to see. Orton has been a main eventer for years, though, so his comeback to the WWE is needed to be big. The Viper is giving us just that, as his first pay-per-view opponent will be Brock Lesnar. Obviously, this is a tall order for Orton to overcome. The Beast Incarnate, especially knowing Lesnar, has been dominant for so long. Lesnar does not lose very often, and when he does, it usually takes a low blow to do it. Randy Orton is crafty, however, and he has more experience in this business than Brock Lesnar. Both also came from the legendary OVW class that has been talked about, including Shelton Benjamin, John Cena, and Batista. Orton has been considered a crown jewel by the WWE for many years, and was seen as a developmental project with loads of potential. He lived up to that and more over the last decade while Brock Lesnar was away from the company. The two never truly had a chance to work together while they were in the prime of their careers. Orton was on WWE Raw while Brock was on Smackdown. Of course, he also only worked for WWE for about 2 years before calling it quits. Lesnar would become a top name in the UFC for many years, and Orton remained at the top of the card in WWE. While Lesnar has faced off against some of the top names in this industry since his return, Randy Orton hasn't run into him, at least until lately. This makes their match highly anticipated and years in the making. Therefore, seeing this main event at WWE Summerslam makes total sense, and going into the event, it seemed obvious that Orton was going to suplex City, just like everybody else before him, and would lose almost like everybody else as well. However, this may not be the case at all. According to a Cage Side Seats report, Randy Orton is expected to beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. That's a pretty big rumor, okay? As it would be Orton's big pay-per-view comeback, and having him lose would not be a good thing. However, against Lesnar, people could understand it. Being beaten by Brock does not really hurt a person standing in the WWE because it's Brock Lesnar. He's the most dominant, legitimate athlete in the WWE, and he's been that way for years due to his name in UFC. However, his UFC work may cost him this time around. It could be theorized that WWE is punishing Lesnar as best they can by having him take a loss to Randy Orton. While Orton does need a big win to help him get back to the top, he could always face someone at WWE Backlash to accomplish this. However, WWE has to do something to show the locker room that they care about what occurred with Lesnar and will have him lose due to it. It is said that the WWE locker room is furious over the fact that part-time stars are not subject to drug testing, which means the WWE wellness policy does not affect them. Lesnar is part-time, and therefore, he has no need to be tested. The reason this is significant is because Lesnar failed 2 USADA drug tests before he fought Mark Hunt at UFC 200 back in July. While he passed all 5 that were released before the fight, with Hunt that took place, 2 of the 3 that came out after the fight showed a drug failure. He reportedly tested positive for an estrogen blocker. While this is not very useful for his fight, it would help him lean up and do better in training, as the blocker allows for high levels of testosterone. Due to the fact he had to have only used it for a couple of weeks, it would not have counted as a PED as much as other things. Even if he used steroids for a few weeks, it would not have done enough to his body to help him in his fight. Plus, he and Hunt were only a half a pound off in weight for this particular fight. However, the substance he took was illegal and may also be illegal under WWE's wellness policy. It is indeed, in fact, illegal. Since Lesnar is not subject to it, he saw 0 repercussions by the WWE over his failed USADA drug tests. This made many fans upset, so it would make sense that WWE would have Orton beat Brock just to satisfy the boys in the locker room and many WWE fans as well. Basically, it could be WWE's version of a repercussion. The win also helps Randy Orton in the long run, too, by beating Brock Lesnar is no small task. It takes a lot to put him away, but Orton has proved that his RKO can strike at any time and could end the match just as quick. We can expect Orton to take a beating, but if he wins despite it, do not be surprised. And you'll know the reason, if Brock Lesnar loses at SummerSlam, what the reason will be. I don't even know where to begin with this, man. I really don't. I am completely on the fence, okay? I want you guys to date back to when Billy Gunn was fired. He was not, he didn't fail, I should say, a WWE administered drug test. He was doing body lifting or body, he was in a fucking tough man competition, something along those lines. It wasn't a WWE registered activity. And he failed a drug test outside of WWE, and they caught wind of it for this competition, and they fired him almost immediately. They made an example out of Billy Gunn because he was a trainer down at NXT, and they didn't want the young minds of NXT developmental to see their trainer, their coach, do such terrible acts and go against WWE policy, even though it wasn't a WWE administered drug test. And they don't want the NXT developmental guys to see this guy, Billy Gunn, and do the same things that he's doing. They didn't want to put that and instill that on the young minds and the guys that are training down there that, okay, Billy Gunn cheated, he failed the drug test, but he's still employed by WWE. So possibly that means we could do the same thing and bend the rules a little bit and get by. Cheat the system a little bit. So they made an example out of Billy Gunn almost immediately. Almost immediately. He didn't even see a week and he was fired. Now, Billy Gunn can always come back, but nothing has been done since. And Billy Gunn remains unemployed by WWE. And that was a terrible story. It wasn't a WWE administered drug test. It was a drug test outside of WWE. I'm not sure if it was the USADA. I am not sure. But I know it was not a WWE administered drug test. And they fired him almost immediately to make an example out of him. Now you look at Brock Lesnar, and everything was working in WWE's favor for this. They had a spot on UFC 200, promos, packages for SummerSlam, hype by the UFC to build for SummerSlam because Lesnar was pretty much borrowed by the UFC because he's an employee of WWE, still under contract with Vince. Vince allowed him to fight in the UFC, and all of this shit just completely hit the fucking fan. And now it's making the WWE look bad. And I understand Roman Reigns was nailed, but there are also reports that WWE was not going to do anything about Roman Reigns. They were going to sweep it under the rug, and taking the title off of him was going to be their form of punishment, but they weren't going to formally suspend him for 30 days. Whether that's true or not, it has not been reported, but I would not put it past WWE. Okay? But I do want to keep you guys in the loop. There's a ton of part-time talent that comes in and out of the WWE. The Rock is one of the biggest part-time performers in the WWE. Not more so than Brock Lesnar, but when he comes back, he can literally do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And you know for a fact The Rock is on something. The Rock is on something. They're all on something. They can bend the rules because of who they are. And if it's beneficial for WWE, they will allow the rules to be bent. But what does that say about the rest of the locker room? This is why the locker room is furious about what is going on. My opinion on all of this, realistically, Brock Lesnar should be punished. He should be punished. He should be made an example out of, and the repercussions need to be felt going up and down the WWE locker room. But how far WWE takes this punishment is one thing. Dock him pay, take a few dates away from him, give him fewer dates to work and less money to make. Because that's the most important thing in Brock Lesnar's world is money. Having him go out there after pretty much destroying Mark Hunt, and we know UFC and WWE cannot be compared, but after all the years that they've invested in this Brock Lesnar character, this beast, he ran through The Undertaker, he beat The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania, conquered it, he beat The Undertaker into oblivion when The Undertaker came back for revenge, he destroyed John Cena for the WWE Championship. Lesnar is an unstoppable monster. And the only way Lesnar loses is if you're going to put somebody over that's going to be in the business for a very, very long time. Orton is not going to be in the business many more years. Orton is not the guy to go into SummerSlam and beat Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit if Brock Lesnar did this and failed. I understand you need to make an example out of him. But everything that you've done for Brock Lesnar, everything you've done to make this guy's aura and this guy's personality and his character in WWE, everything you've done up until this point majorly, overwhelmingly outweighs this one mistake. Who the fuck knows what Brock Lesnar's been doing in his spare time? Everybody knows all the WWE superstars are on something. Okay? This is no fucking secret. Rules have been bent. The WWE wellness policy is fucking pathetic. I understand this. This shows its huge flaw. But everything that you've done for Lesnar and everything that you've given Lesnar and all the time you've invested in Lesnar overwhelmingly outweighs this one mistake. Lesnar is not Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is not Brock Lesnar. You could have brought the hammer down on Billy Gunn and nothing would have been felt. Yes, you made an example out of him. That was the right thing to do. But is this the right thing for business? To job out Lesnar to Randy Orton because of a failed drug test for the USADA? And it's going to literally wash away everything you've done. Undertaker streak, the whole fucking 21-1, him destroying John Cena, him being an unstoppable fucking monster that has not been pinned since he lost to John Cena at Extreme Rules several years ago. He has not lost. You do not want, or at least lost that it wasn't really going to matter, you know, but what you've done with Lesnar overwhelmingly outweighs everything. And I would not put that at risk. I would not. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel on this. But I totally understand WWE's logic here if they do it. I don't have to agree with it, but an example needs to be made out of. I think WWE needs to devise a plan and come up with another way to hurt Brock Lesnar. Hurting him on television and having him lose and wiping away everything you've done in the past cannot happen. I'm sorry, it cannot happen. You gotta go about this a different way. Lesnar's not Billy Gunn. Lesnar's made so much money for WWE, and he's brought them so much business that I don't see how you can job this guy out at SummerSlam. Billy Gunn, you made an example out of him. Billy Gunn is not Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry. Doesn't work that way. No matter how many times we get pissed about it and how many names are in the industry that hold more weight than anything, and you could get away with murder because of who you are, that's the way of the business. That's the way of any business. It's not going to be good for WWE business if Brock Lesnar loses in New York City. I don't want to see any type of disrespect towards the Undertaker streak. If you're going to let Brock Lesnar lose, you have him lose when it really matters. SummerSlam with Orton does not matter. No matter how big of a mistake Lesnar made, no matter how big of a mistake he made to embarrass the company, to embarrass himself, to embarrass Vince, to embarrass the WWE Wellness Policy, this is not the time for Lesnar to lose. You have him lose putting over a Nakamura or a Samoa Joe or someone that is going to get this rub, take it, and run with it and make a fucking lifelong career out of it. Orton is not that guy. Done. All of that. Everything you've done with Lesnar in the past cannot be touched. Not yet. Lesnar loses when he no longer is contracted to the WWE, and we know for a fact he's not coming back, ever. That's it. Lesnar does not lose. I don't give a shit at all. Orton's not the guy. That doesn't mean I don't understand. I agree he needs to be punished, so don't misconstrue my words. But the fact that Lesnar is being built the way he is and all the time invested, I just don't see. All of that outweighs the fucking drug violation. I'm sorry. Number one on that fucking scale is The Undertaker's undefeated streak. You don't touch that. Lesnar loses when he's done. Period. Let me know what you guys think about that. Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the United States Championship being planned for SummerSlam. On Raw this week, Rusev successfully defended the U.S. Championship against Mark Henry. The Bulgarian Brute got the win, but that's not what the WWE Universe is talking about after the match ended. After the match was over, Rusev grabbed the microphone and continued to berate Americans' way of life. But that was before Roman Reigns interrupted him. Reigns and Rusev had a stare down and a quick brawl, which saw Reigns come out on top. It was made very clear that Roman is targeting Rusev and has his eye on more WWE gold. It's being reported by Ringside News that Reigns versus Rusev is expected to be set for SummerSlam over the next few weeks, and it will be for the United States Championship. In that scenario, Reigns and Rusev are going to wrestle a very physical match that will only increase the prestige of the U.S. title and give it a deeper legitimacy. It's a well-known fact that Roman Reigns is currently in WWE's doghouse, but that doesn't mean that he can't still be valuable to the WWE product. As great as a potential United States Championship run would be for Roman Reigns on WWE programming, the real winner of the feud could end up being the Bulgarian Brute. Rusev has feuded and gained victories over many former world champions, but Roman Reigns is the most current example of a WWE top guy. A feud with Reigns could do a lot to elevate Rusev into WWE's main event picture and establish him as someone who could challenge for the WWE Universal Championship later this year. There is potential for Rusev to become a bigger star in WWE, especially with Lana by his side. Reigns versus Rusev could be a great feud that benefits both men to become stronger performers. Everything that is said about Rusev in this article is absolutely 100% true. The main thing here is that Roman Reigns is a top guy. No matter how you fucking view him, no matter how many boos this guy gets, no matter what type of reaction this guy gets from the audience, Roman Reigns, no matter if you hate him or love him, is a top guy. He will be a top guy coming out of this if he loses. The main thing here, and if this really needs to be a new era, is you got to give new opportunity to people who were not given an opportunity in the old era. Rusev winning this not only enhances the United States Championship, but it also makes another legitimate main event star. He might not be there immediately after a victory over Roman Reigns, but a decisive victory over Roman Reigns, a tap-out victory over Roman Reigns, if people see that, because they associate Roman Reigns as a main event top-level guy, that will do nothing but greatness for Rusev. And a huge feud over the United States Championship, and the two being as physical as they can be, would make it unbelievable. And it would bring importance just based on that fact alone for the United States Championship. Rusev has had a very, very difficult time trying to reestablish himself after he originally lost the United States Championship. This is a long time coming. And I didn't think WWE was going to be able to rebuild him. And they've done a very good job. And they need to continue that. You cannot take away the guy's momentum. You need, and your main priority here, is to build new stars. Something that they've never done correctly. Nothing. The only top stars they've built in this fucking company are Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins. Everybody else outside the Cenas and Ortons and Lesnars, there's nobody. You brought in AJ Styles, but we all know by default he's a top guy, but he really hasn't been made to look like a top guy in WWE. Bray Wyatt's a top guy. He hasn't been looking like a top guy. Owens, you know, you got the Zanes, you got the Cesaros, right? All these guys have the fucking potential to be top guys. But they continue pushing the same old guys. Rusev is in that list. Rusev needs a dominant victory over Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. There's nothing else to say about this. I don't give a shit if you're a Roman Reigns fan. You're like, oh my God, JD, Roman Reigns has to win, has to beat Rusev, man. No. Now, you're basing it off of you're a fan of Roman Reigns. Fuck that. Throw that logic bullshit out the window. Okay? That's not logic to a fucking casual goon, Roman Reigns. Oh, he's got to win because he's my favorite athlete. He's my favorite W's. No. It's not the way you work. Rusev, if you're for the business and the industry and you really want to put a fucking stamp on this new era, Rusev needs to win. Absolutely no questions asked. If Rusev loses, WWE will forfeit all the fucking time invested into Rusev. They'll fuck over the United States Championship and they'll piss off more people than they already have. Because everybody knows going into this, if you have a fucking brain, Rusev needs to beat Roman Reigns. Simple. Tough shit for Roman Reigns. You know, he failed the drug test. He got the WWE title taken away from him. He lost to Finn Balor. He's going to lose to Rusev. He's not going to get out of the doghouse by winning the United States Championship. Nah, sorry. You got a long way to go, Roman Reigns. And a loss to Rusev is not going to do anything that's going to derail you. You've derailed yourself. Rusev's time is now. This will be a huge mark for Rusev. Simple. I don't want to hear anything else. We talked about Mick Foley yesterday, I believe. I don't know why this is still in my notes. Delete! 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 There you go. Oh, my God. Victoria. Did we talk about this? I don't think so. Victoria could be returning to the WWE. Jesus Christ, that was fucking random, huh? I don't know, man. I'm in some mood. The WWE brand extension has been a great opportunity for the current WWE roster to get more opportunities to succeed on WWE television. However, it may also be a great choice, or a great chance, I should say, great chance for some WWE superstars of the past to get a second chance with the company and do things on WWE program they did not get to do the first time around. For example, there's a rumor going around right now that former WWE superstar, not diva, Lisa Marie Varon, or Varon, however you want to pronounce it, could be headed back to the WWE as early as this week's SmackDown. Now, this was taken last week. She tweeted out, SmackDown might be interesting this week. With a little tweet. Obviously, Victoria was not on SmackDown, but we could very well see her pop up at any time. It's live. We don't know. Anything could happen on a live television show. In WWE, she wrestled as Victoria and became a two-time WWE Women's Champion. After WWE, she wrestled in TNA as Tara and became a five-time Knockouts Champion. Speculation about her returning to WWE started last week when Varon posted the following on Twitter about this week's SmackDown being must-see, like I just mentioned. Varon would do a great job as a veteran on SmackDown. There are numerous women for her to give the rub to and have great matches with, including Becky. There have been rumors also in the past about Victoria getting involved with the Wyatt family. Since they are no more, could Victoria become the bride of Bray Wyatt on SmackDown? That's an interesting fucking choice. I don't know about that, but let's get her on SmackDown first. She still has a lot left in the tank. I definitely want WWE to bolster the women's roster on SmackDown simply because they will be bringing, after SummerSlam, a second women's championship to that brand. You need... Not the way it's looking right now, man. They got, right now, 5 minus Eva Marie, 6 with Eva Marie on the women's roster, man. You cannot have a second title with 6 women and call it a division. You need to get that into the double digits. You need at least 10, okay? I understand WWE wants to add more titles, but you need to add more women to make it a credible division. Hopefully they are in the process of doing that. Rumored, as I will talk about on part 4 tomorrow, Mickie James is another one they are talking about. Rumored, they mentioned her on WWE.com. If you bring in Mickie James, Victoria, Melina, you got Nikki Bella coming back, and then you could put Bayley on Monday Night Raw, I think WWE will be okay. I think WWE will be okay for the time being. Whoever else they want to bring back and sign, WWE has multitude of resources. They could go out and bolster these divisions. Same thing with the tag team division. They're mentioning Crime Time on WWE.com. It could be what we want it to be. They need to take the proper steps to do so. Victoria coming back to the WWE, I only see as a positive thing, and I hope it happens. I want the tag team divisions for both brands and the women's divisions for both brands to be solidified and hampered down with talent. I'm not worried about the mid-card, maybe a little bit on the Smackdown side. I don't like SmackDown's mid-card scene, but on Monday Night Raw, I'm not worried about the Cruiserweights. I'm not worried about the mid-card. I'm not worried about the main event. It's the tag team and the women I am most concerned about. But if WWE is making progress and taking the proper steps to get talent in to bolster these two separate divisions, I am okay. Right now, it's not looking where it needs to be. It's not looking good at all, but if they get there, my nervousness and my worry and concern will be lowered. That's all I want. I want this thing to work out, and the only way you're going to do that is by going out and getting talent to bring to both Raw and SmackDown. Lilian Garcia announces her departure from WWE to take care of her ailing father. It was rumored a few months ago that Lilian Garcia was released or would be taking time off to tend to a serious family issue. Her father's health is said to be in very delicate condition, so she's trying to get her time off. At this time, Garcia only needed a little time from WWE to tend to her father, and she has been back ever since. Unfortunately, it looks like Lillian is going to need more time off. According to a report from Fox Sports, this is legit if it's from Fox Sports, Lilian Garcia will be leaving WWE immediately to continue to tend to her father's health issues during this difficult time. Lillian posted the following statement on Instagram this week to thank WWE, the WWE Universe, and let us all know why she's leaving the company. This is what it says, and I quote, "I've been getting a lot of tweets and messages asking where I've been and if I'm coming back to the WWE, so I wanted to let you all know what has been going on and why I have been silent. I've been through so many emotions lately that literally have kept me up at night. As most of you know, my father has been battling 2 different types of cancer. He hasn't been doing as well as I hoped. Therefore, I will not be traveling weekly with WWE any longer. I will be looking to take on work closer to where I live so that I don't have to be on the road weekly away from him. He truly needs me, and I need this time with him. I ask you that you please continue with your prayers for my father and my family. It has been a magical 15-year career at WWE and the WWE Universe. I can't thank you enough for all your love and support. I felt every step of the way. I felt you every step of the way, and I also want to thank the amazing WWE superstars, whom many of them have become my friends. You are an incredible group of people with so much talent. It has been such an honor to introduce you to the ring and watch your superior athleticism week after week. Thank you to the crew and production staff on the road and in the offices. I've seen you work so hard. You really are the glue that keeps it all together. Lastly, thank you WWE for this incredible ride that I never wanted to get off. I've had experiences beyond my imagination. I thank you for not only allowing me to use my voice as an announcer, but also sharing it to sing around the world. What an honor. I will cherish the memories forever. I can't even begin to understand what she's going through right now. This was a decision that was made solely on her. WWE granted this to her to spend time with her father. And all I can say to you guys is go find Lilian Garcia on Twitter and continue sending her thoughts and prayers, your thoughts and prayers for this difficult time, man. This is something that she needs to take care of. I think after everything is taken care of, she could possibly return back to the WWE, but for the time being, this is the most important thing in her life right now. She really doesn't know what's going on with the cancer, and she wants to be there for her father. And it brings back memories of me because I didn't get to see my grandfather before he passed. And, God forbid anything happens to Lillian's father, she wants to be there to monitor him and be by his side. You can't blame her for that. So continue thoughts and prayers. Tweet Lillian. Tell her that you're thinking about her. Thoughts and prayers are with her. This is a very difficult time. And I hope truly everything works out here. I don't know what's going on. She really doesn't really tweet all that much, but it doesn't sound good. And I just hope that everything works out for her. And, it's a long time with the company, man. 15 years. And kudos to WWE for allowing her to just step away like that. This is a huge deal for her, so that was fucking awesome there. Major tag team superstar reportedly out due to injury. One of the Usos is out for injury. This is going to conclude this week's part 3. We'll continue it on part 4. With the reincarnation of WWE's brand extension that has been announced, a ton of speculation swirled around how things might be different this time around as long as the brand split kept both shows completely separate from one another. With 2 unique rosters competing against each other, 2 sets of champions representing every division made sense. Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar aside, that has been the case to this point, but we're only 2 weeks in. It is quickly determined that each brand would have a heavyweight champion by virtue of Rusev getting drafted to Raw and The Miz getting drafted to SmackDown. Each brand also had a mid-card title. But both tag team belts and women's championship were Raw exclusive, leaving more questions for the blue brand. Daniel Bryan helped answer one of those on Tuesday when he confirmed that a new WWE Women's title will be coming to SmackDown in due time. Several sources reported that as well. And another set of tag team straps might not be far behind that. Even still, by splitting up both the women's division and tag team division amongst both brands, many argue that both would be diluted. Other worries were quickly squashed when all existing tag teams, saving the floundering Lucha Dragons, were kept intact. Factions like the Wyatt family and the Social Outcasts were split up, but for the purposes of this report, we're focusing on WWE's true tag teams. As noted, the titles are around the waist of Raw superstars, The New Day. In fact, the champions, along with 2 other hottest teams on the entire roster, Anderson and Gallows and Enzo and Cass, all appear on Monday nights. So depending how you look at it, SmackDown is either extremely thin in that department, the show of opportunity, or most likely both. American Alpha will certainly provide a jolt on Tuesday nights, but after that, it's a bit of a crapshoot, especially considering the latest bit of news. The Usos are the veterans on SmackDown, having been in the WWE the longest, but according to DailyWrestlingNews.com, they've hit a bit of a roadblock that prevented them from making a significant impact since the brand split went into effect. Jimmy Uso is out of action with an unknown injury. The former WWE Tag Team Champions have not wrestled since Battleground. The Usos would definitely have fallen under the category of superstars that would likely benefit from the brand split. Their act had become relatively stale, most notably evidenced by their Battleground kickoff show loss to Breezango. Tyler Breeze and Fandango have some support backstage, but haven't come close to the levels of accomplishment the Usos have reached in the WWE. Now both teams are on the same brand, along with the Vaudevillains, Ascension, and perhaps the Hype Bros, as middling teams, all hopeful to make that leap. In Jimmy's absence, Jay has been mostly relegated to singles matches on WWE Main Event or tag team matches alongside Zack Ryder, among others. Jay was awarded a spot on SmackDown's Battle Royal to determine a 6th and final participant in a number 1 contenders match due to Dean Ambrose's World Championship situation. And even though the match was stocked mainly with mid-carders, Jay had little chance of winning. There's a large card taking shape for WWE Summerslam that will exceed 4 hours, but the Usos are long shots to even be on the card after this announced injury. However, Jimmy and Jay will definitely be needed, if only to help in American Alpha's ascension to the top of the division as expected. As currently constructed, the Usos may have already hit their ceiling, but it would definitely be worth watching if WWE decided to turn them heel or let them have a singles run. Turn them heel. You don't want to break these guys up. They're more. This is another tag team here that is only going to be beneficial if you keep them together. Them solo is not going to do anything for either man. It's not going to do anything for the WWE. And this goes back to what we've been saying. I am concerned about the tag team division. You got to go out and get fucking teams. Make Breezango a little bit more serious. Get the Hype Bros back together. You got American Alpha. Give the Ascension time to shine. The Vaudevillains are a great fucking team. These are helping hands to make this division competitive. Make these guys worth something. Get some momentum underneath them. You know? Again, WWE's got to dip into the fucking well. Open up that checkbook and sign whoever you got to sign. Because you're not going to have a division with 4 fucking teams. Not going to happen. So before you even introduce another set of tag team titles, you need a division intact that's really going to feel like a division. Not going to happen with Breezango, Hype Bros, Vaudevillains, Ascension, and American Alpha. You need at least 3 or 4 other teams to make that fucking division a division. Same thing with the women. So this sucks, and I don't know how long he's going to be out. That hasn't been reported. But Jimmy Uso, man, they've been in and out of injuries. I don't know what caused this. But whatever the case may be, I hope for the WWE's tag team division on SmackDown that he gets back soon. Because I don't want to see more titles introduced and there's little to no teams to be viable contenders to American Alpha. Because you know, without question, that American Alpha is going to be the leader of that division. You need competition, and good competition at that. One that's going to make a healthy division. I don't know what they're going to do, but WWE seems to be in a whole shitstorm of worry. And I hope that they really do what needs to be done and go out there and get teams to bolster this division, that and the women's division. Like I said, do not give me new titles unless you have teams in place and a plan in place to make it right. Otherwise, you're just going to add more confusion and you're going to rush the job when it doesn't need to be rushed. And week after week after week will go by and things will get stale and boring very, very quickly. And repetitive, you don't want that at all. So, Jimmy Uso out with injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out. It's an unknown injury. If I hear anything else, I will let you guys know right here on Off the Script. So, thank you guys so much for that. More news coming on Monday, so don't go anywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that thumbs up. We're going to be talking about Dolph Ziggler. We're going to be talking about Vince McMahon and Finn Balor. And we're going to be talking about Braun Strowman's push on Monday Night Raw. So don't go anywhere. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, hit that thumbs up. Check out my King of the Ring Round 1. Nakamura versus Balor down in the description of this video. And I'll be back on Monday with Part 4 of Off the Script. Until then, I'm JD, and I'll see you guys right back here on Monday morning. Talk to you later.